Hello, everybody! It is I, Realm Wars II, here with a bit of a collab rant because today it's a really special rant because today the people who are uniting are none other than the almighty Fro Bros of the internet. I, Realm Wars II, and of course my lovable cuddly tiger.
Hey, this is Youngblood Fantasy 91, and it's been a while, hasn't it? I haven't been in a co-op video in I don't know how the hell long, but hey, it's good to be back.
Yeah, the last time you were with some strange Scandinavian whatsoever.
Yeah, the freaking Icelandic person. His
Yeah,
name, I think his name is Falcon or something.
yeah, it's like those
I mean,
trolling Vikings. Anyway.
yeah.
Anyway, today we're basically doing a little something that one of my friends by the name of Armageddon's Wee decided to show me about, and it's basically a topic of a person who I've kind of wanted to make a video on for quite some time, but I honestly couldn't find anything to work on because honestly his channel is just, while it's bad, I can't really find anything that I could rip on without going like, Jesus Christ, I'm just gonna sound redundant throughout this entire thing. But I'm talking about a guy named MetalPhantasyRaider. So you see, yeah. I got a Youngblood fantasy talking about a metal fantasy. Let's see which is better.
Oh my God, he's stealing my username. Poser.
And what's worse, he's not even a tiger.
See that's just the first problem right there. He's not a tiger. He's not one of us. Automatically points deducted.
It's like, how dare he be so rude to an endangered species? Yeah, tigers are an endangered species, people.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you save the tigers in the Himalayas? Yeah. Why don't you donate to the Wildlife Federation? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, let's get on to the serious business, because, we're on the internet. So,
Yes, serious business.
so yes, Adam Armageddon's Wee decided to tell me basically about his thoughts about what he thought of him, and he wanted to know what I thought. And he directed me to a bit of stuff on his video, and I started snooping around his little DeviantArt, as well as some of the videos that I've posted. And honestly, the stuff that he mentioned, I do really have to agree with him on. What Armageddon's We brought up is that he's not very observant with some people. He constantly doesn't think for himself, and he seems to put himself on high pedestals above other people who, realistically, when you think about it, he's no better than they are.
Oh yeah, I don't like those type of people because I've made two think for yourself videos. So I mean, I clearly emphasize independent thought. But if you have people like him who just agree with everything you say and then is like, oh, well, I heard this from the almighty Realm Wars, so therefore I am informed about everything, you know what I mean? And those type of people really do not deserve to discuss something when they just steal from other people like that. So, I mean, that's kind of condescending.
Despite the fact of what Hotch says.
Yeah, despite... Oh, I'm not even going to go there. No.
Okay. But you see, something that I wanted to talk about was the whole thing with Metal Raider Fantasy is like some of the comments that he's left on Adam's one dramatic reading of I think it was Jordan River, where he basically said stuff about me where he's like, hey, Realm should do that for his future dramatic readings, add music to his stuff, when it's like, to be perfectly honest, I've been doing that. And I actually did reply to him saying, sir, I think you've been misinformed about something because I have been doing that. And then he's like, oh, well, I was talking about your videos on Blip.
What videos on Blip?
I know, it's like, I'm sorry, when is the last time I uploaded something to Blip TV?
I don't know. My guess is never ago.
I think I remember there being a 10 after the date.
Or a 9, or any prime number.
Like, we're just assuming things here, because you see, it's like, not even I remember when the last time I uploaded a Blip TV video. Like, that's how long it's been.
I don't know. I mean, I guess he just didn't really, follow you to that extent, and he's just trying to give you suggestions, but I mean,
Despite the
I think
fact
he's
that
trying too hard.
Despite the fact that he clearly stalks my videos.
I think he's trying too hard to, impress you or something, or at least try to make you like, oh, well, I see the error of my ways, and take credit for, changing your mind about this sort of thing,
God, I run into way too many people like that.
Yeah, there's lots of people, like, I mean, I'm not going to say every single commenter does that, but every once in a while I encounter people who are like, well, I know this because I heard it from him, and I'm better than everyone else, and I leave the same generic comments over and over. And
No,
they get very argumentative about that, and it's like, you don't need to. You can state your own opinion. I mean, this is what the internet is for. You don't need to just agree with me and then suddenly just tell everyone who's the best person ever and then try to make suggestions for me too because you think you know me that well.
yeah, it's like, it's not just, I see, guys like this with me, I'm kind of, not really talking about Metal Fantasy here, but I'm stating, people who do this in general. There's a lot of people who I notice do this with, like, some of the people in the reviewing community. There's people who do this with Nostalgia Critic, AVGM, hell, even some call me Johnny, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, don't get me started, bro.
It's like, I was looking on Brain Scratch Comms, and apparently, the moment where Johnny stated, how much he hated Shadow the Hedgehog, and he even admitted to saying that it was worse than Sonic 06, I actually saw some people there who were like, you know what, I didn't think Shadow the Hedgehog was that bad, but now looking at this, I can say it's definitely worse than Sonic 06.
And it's like, what? Like, are you really going to be that freaking, open and receptive to what people have to say? I mean, in the world of academia, that's called lack of critical thinking skills, and I think you should apply that to the internet, because if you have people who are, just toadies, who simply just believe everything you say, it's not really a case of, people thinking, it's a case of just people agreeing with you. And like I said earlier, this is an issue that is definitely prominent in this community and, as Realm said, in other communities. So, I mean, it's kind of relevant to talk about.
You said toadies.
It's the only proper word I can think of, Toadies, what was I going to say? Subservient people, like, that's too long. Use words like toadies, or like sycophants, I love that word.
Well, you see, since we were just talking about some call me Johnny, we might as well call him mooks.
Oh, God. You're crazy.
Yes, I be. Derp. Anyway,
back on the topic.
Yeah, back to Metal Fantasy, because, I still have Youngblood Fantasy here, and we still need to prove which one's better.
Yes. I mean, it's really hard to, distinguish between the two. We're the same people.
Yes, but you see, it's like, there's some times where you can clearly tell that this guy doesn't really have much of an opinion for himself, but mainly forms it off of other people, which could easily get people to think that he's, one, easily manipulative, and two, people who he just doesn't know how to think for himself for a couple of minutes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like I remember his little divert that you sent me, because, apparently I couldn't find it for some reason. And he put down a little rant on Inferno the Fox, and funny thing is, he happened to have made this the moment I made my rubbing the salt in the wound video on him.
Wow, that's kind of coincidental. I wonder where he got the inspiration to do that.
I honestly don't know. I think he got it from Johnny's brother Elliot.
No, he obviously got it. He obviously got it from the hardcore kid. Because,
obviously he's a very influential person in the ranting community.
I don't know. I wouldn't say hardcore kid because he's not making fun of homosexuals.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
But anyway, it's like, I think I'm going to be reading off a little bit on his little journal right here. No, this isn't a dramatic reading. This is still a Fro Bros video. I'm just reading stuff off here. Anyway, he goes, another user read, I call dibs. Realm hot in your face. Just kidding, brother.
Ugh, he said yo face. Ruining it. Soiled it.
He did soil it. And also, I don't really understand about this whole another user rant. I called dibs. Like, I apparently now people who we have to rant on are now like scraps on the floor. It's like, no, this is my last piece of chicken.
Get your own damn renting targets.
Get your own pet tigers. But it's like, I honestly don't understand, like, this whole, oh, I called dibs on this, because it's like, the guy's not going anywhere. You're not really gonna take, like, the only time where it's like you could say the guy would go anywhere is if he were to close his account, but it's like, we're not scraps of food that you can just swipe off the table and go, yo, this is mine.
Yeah, exactly.
And it continues with, this is on Inferno the Fox, the rage-induced ginger moron who can't think for himself. Irony!
Oh my god, that is like the most obvious form of dramatic irony I've ever experienced.
Yeah, because it's like he even said on Armageddon's Wee's dramatic reading on Jordan River that, well, after watching your video, I most likely am not gonna take him seriously anymore.
Uh-huh, absolutely. Just, I don't know. Reading through this is just like, it's kind of like, oh, I'm just going to repeat what Realm said, but I'm going to use my own words and paraphrase.
And if you think that's not bad enough, let's take a look at number 1. Look, I said Inferno can't think for himself. He once said IGN are biased against games that aren't realistic. Okami, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Kirby's Epic Yarn, Klonoa, and Sonic Colors all got good scores. What does that sound like?
Does that sound original, XD?
Yeah, it's like, he took what I said in my Rubbing Salt in the Wounds video on Inferno verbatim. See, I can use that word too.
Wait, you actually used it correctly. I'm very shocked. Nobody knows how to use verbatim right in this freaking community.
It's biased, most likely.
Yeah, it's the biasm is obviously wrote.
Oh, and of course, in the next little sentence he has in here, the one person he specifically name drops as me, Realm Wars, Pikachu OZ, Phoenix Angel Gals, and others saw this and started pointing him out.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're listing yo inspirations.
Yes, it's great to know that he likes name dropping, but then he's like, Inferno got rid of the comment like a pussy, then he came back at Realm saying he never watched most of IGN's reviews. Then his other reply is, it's okay to have an opinion even if it's biased. I'm not kidding, what a screwed up statement. Again, more things that were taken from me verbatim.
Oh my god. You see, like, this reminds me of, like, I mean, I don't know if this is as flagrant as the case with Jack Cooper the plumber, but it kind of reminds me of that.
It kind of is. It's like, some of the stuff that he says in here, it's like, I remember me saying this in another video. Like, especially number 3, he says, he can never has a clue what he is saying. Has a clue.
Never has.
He says he'll improve, but Realmors didn't believe him, and neither will I. Which is,
God.
yeah, it's funny though, because it's like, I'm sorry, didn't you just get done complaining about how this guy doesn't think for himself?
Exactly. I feel as though, I mean, this is the whole theme of the entire video we're doing. Just him having an inability to create his own opinion, so he's like, let's just look at Realm Wars video, and then we'll just take all the points. It's like some people in the commentary community when they just take the same target and just repeat the same thing for what other people said earlier.
You know, I was actually thinking of taking that video Hodge made and just copying every word you said.
Okay. That really makes me feel better. It makes me feel flattered because, you know, that definitely validates me, and it pretty much makes you look good.
I honestly think I should have done that. I would have gotten tons of subscribers and maybe a partnership with Social Blade to check the newsletter.
Social Blade, go look at the newsletter. Right, gigs? Go look at the newsletter.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, this isn't the only thing of hypocrisy that he's actually stated before. Like, there was another time where he went to Armageddon's Wii and he said, you know, your videos would be a lot better if you used custom sprites, which is incredibly hypocritical because every little thing he's posted, except for these DA journals, all have shadow recolor sprites in them.
Ugh, he's one to talk. Just saying.
I know, and it's like, the only reason he's saying that too is because, you know, I happen to use custom sprites. It's like, dude, I don't care if you have recolor shit or not, just don't treat it like it's the almighty God the Hedgehog.
Exactly. I mean, don't. I say like the moral of the story is just don't make a big deal or don't take things too far, especially in relation to what people say on here. You know, if people say one thing, it doesn't automatically give you the right to just say, well, I'm going to completely and unequivocally agree with everything you ever say ever. I mean, that's very subservient, and I don't know how that develops your own critical thinking skills about anything. I mean, I think the commentary community is more along the lines of not just about providing humor, but providing an insight via thinking about things critically and independently of what the person originally said. Especially if you're talking about a video, like any sort of video that you find on YouTube. It's like you're going there, you find the video, so you're thinking independently your own thoughts about the matter. You're not relying on other people's commentaries as crutches. So, and you're saying to yourself, I'm going to say these points, and I'm saying them on my own. And that's what makes a commentary feel right when you say, I did this on my own. You know what I mean? And some people don't understand that crucial concept, and that's why there's a bunch of people who are posers, and people like Jack Cooper and MetalPhantasyRaider, as you stated earlier. Those people are uninspired, and that's kind of annoying.
Well, you see, when it came to me wondering what made a successful commentary, I came to the conclusion that obviously tiny white guys with big noses is the key to a successful commentary. It's worked so far.
So getting high?
Yes, exactly. But
okay, I should do that more often then.
Oh, Sean, we need some help.
Sean, you have lots of marijuana connections. I know you do.
Yes, you do. I mean, you gotta have some left over from that Stephen the Master video. Oh, wait, that was flagged.
ooh, that's too far.
Yep, and of course, there's this one line here in this journal where he says, 5, he's just a mix of other YouTubers. He's ass-hurt like Billy the Hedgehog, who is a troll. He is an angry ginger like Coppercap, who is questionably a troll. He is a hypocrite like Navigator, who is dead. Game Dude, who is irrelevant. And Iray, who is a dead topic. And others.
Oh my god. Will people just move on from those guys? Like, okay, I know Navigator's horrible, and I know Game Dude's horrible, and I know Iray is horrible, but why do we have to keep talking about them? Oh my god. I've gotten into conversations, on YouTube about these people in, 2012. Do we really need to review the same stuff we talked about 2 years ago? We already know how idiotic they are. We don't need a freaking review. Jesus Christ.
Well, sadly, we may be unable to see that day, considering we still got guys like Jordan River going to people saying, Mario the Plumber's a cyber terrorist!
Ugh. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, and if you wanted to... for more hilarity, he says, he can't take advice from others, just like FunnyTime77, who's also practically a dead topic. Double S Animations, just because I was one of the only few people to bravely call him out, because God forbid you call out the Double S Animations. And, of course, Zeon the Hero Hog, another guy who I would make fun of. Gee, I wonder why he says that.
It's like saying, well, you know what? We should hate people like every single commentary target that Youngblood went after and go up till 89. I'm like, ugh. I would react the same way to you as you would. I would be like, really? You're just taking all of my targets? It's like, well, I don't like Coppercab and go up till 89, and I don't like Crimson Masters, and I also don't like Hadge because I watched the videos. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know what I would think. I would not take that seriously. I'd be like, okay, you're just taking what I say at face value. You're not thinking about what I'm saying, so you're a loss.
Oh, and of course, the last thing he finishes this up with is, good God, will there ever be smart recolor like Shanana Forever, Chief Shadow, Shatzel11, Spycatch Line 8, Zookstar 1000, and get this, Realm Wars before he used Kamiko.
Oh my god, who is this Realm Wars person? He sounds like a cool recolor guy who inspired everyone.
Yeah, it's like, who's this Realm Wars faggot? I mean, I know I'm Realm Wars the second, but who's this guy? Is he stealing my identity?
I don't even know.
It's
I
like,
guess the moral
be...
of the story also is that you inspire a bunch of people to suck yo penis.
It's like, I have no problem with some people sucking my dick, but come on, can't you at least be a sexy lady or something?
Hey, I would not have a problem with that either. But I mean, see, what happens is when you become popular, everyone wants it, and then it's like, there's not enough me for everyone. I'm sorry.
It's like I try hard with people like Poison, but it's like it only goes so far.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I also like how he mentions me as it's like, oh, I'm one of the smart recolors, and he mentions it's like, oh, but this was before he, started doing the stuff he does now. Well, what's the point of mentioning me now? Like, it kind of makes me a bit redundant, to even say anything.
I guess he just wanted to exemplify his his adoration of you, I suppose.
Because obviously he hasn't done that
re-emphasize
enough.
that.
It's like, yeah,
I mean,
like,
I don't know.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I obviously haven't done that enough. But of course, there's one more thing that I wanted to read off, which would practically prove Armageddon's Wii right in saying that this guy does not think, and B, he doesn't know how to pay attention to people. Basically, he put this one comment on my newest video about the Rise to Superior thing. First he goes off to sucking Platinum Rhythm's dick. Oh, dear God. It's like, I feel sorry for that guy. I feel sorry for that black man.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
But yeah, he goes like, as for Platinum, sweet Jesus, which he spells with a G, I'm impressed with his efforts and musical skills. Can you tell him that? I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon became a musician 'cause that music.
'Cause that music.
It's like, yeah,
Best grammar ever.
Yeah, 'cause it's like, that's not what he's trying to become already.
'Cause that music.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you see, it's like that's practically the equivalent of somebody cooking you a quarter-pound steak, and it's like, dude, this is amazing, you should be, like, a cook!
And then they're like, but I am. I am a sous chef.
It's like, wow, you know how to raise kids, you should be, like, an adult!
Oh my god, you know how to read. You should be like a reader. You should read something or something. Yeah. I mean, you read and
yeah, I don't
reading.
know if I'm that good. I mean, I'm reading this one thing, Metal Painter's Q.
Orange.
Funk you. Anyway.
Funk you too.
And then he finishes it off with this. Now, before I begin reading this little segment, Hobbs, you saw that video which I stated before reading this, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and you remember, I stated clearly, the style of animation which I was going for.
Right.
Alright, so he basically asks me this. So wait, are you making Superior your own little sprite series or something like that?
Oh my god. That's such a smart question. I mean, it's not like you already answered that.
It's like, don't you love it when people do that with you, Hobbs? Like, especially when they go on Skip and do that?
Oh my god, it's like, hey, I want your opinion on Hodge. I'm like, I already said it. Or it's like, hey, can you do a commentary on this? I'm like, I already talked about this. Or it's like, what are your thoughts on X? And it's like, usually X involves things that I've already discussed. It's like, I don't need to go over this. It's in the video. Why are you asking me again?
Well, hey, if you want to talk about X, will you talk about Y?
Yeah, I'll talk about everything besides X because I already discussed X. I mean, I will be honest when I say this. Sometimes I get questions that ultimately annoy me because I already answered them.
Hey, Hobbs,
Like
will you do a commentary on this little kid? Okay, Dragon Master.
Oh, that's the oh my god, no. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm going off on a tangent here, but I just have to quickly say this. Constantly sending me commentaries where it's like, do a commentary on a kid? No. The answer will always be no, and don't make commentary intros for me. Even though it's flattering, it's not going to be in the video. Sorry. The end.
No, and it's like, hold on, I want to check back at my PM box, because it's like, I want to reassure something, because, like, I remember some guy sent me a request to do a commentary on a kid, but I just want to make sure to see, like, who it was, because it's like, I don't want to make it, because I don't want to make it be like, maybe it was him, when it's like, maybe it really wasn't.
Okay.
Because it's like, I remember I got something from one person, and, no, it wasn't him, it was another guy, but it's like, I do remember, he would try to send me commentary material before, and, it was usually kids.
Oh, that's totally original.
Yeah, I
Because
know. So it's
kids aren't overdone, and you can't really make commentaries on kids because it'll just be the same thing, the same points over and over, and they're kids, so they probably won't know any better. Ugh.
yeah, pretty much. It's like they honestly don't understand, this whole mentality of this sort of stuff. Because it's like, are we really supposed to sound empowering by criticizing a bunch of 5-year-olds who still shit themselves?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you see, it's practically the equivalent of taking a blind man's stick and throwing it in the sewer hole.
I just feel that, like, in general, like, what we were discussing, although it seems tangential, kind of relates back to Metal Fantasy Writer, because he seems to be like an incarnation of people who just don't seem to understand things in the community. I mean, it's not like they're the worst thing in the world, but see, they kind of plague the community because they keep doing silly things and making silly arguments and saying silly, like, other silly things that ultimately just distract. And it's like, we don't really need that. We need people to be alert and understanding of what other people do.
Yeah, and it's also, and yeah, he's usually just one of those people who, just does that in an attempt to fit in with the cool people. That's what he calls people like me and the other guys who were still in the recolor community.
Don't get me started on that either. Just
Okay.
saying.
Yeah, don't worry. I won't. I really won't. But it's like he constantly tries to like. I think the reason like why he comments on certain people's videos is because as he says himself, oh, if I talk to these people, I might feel like I'm one of the cool guys.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can conclude this by saying that we're not an elite group. We're not some people who are an intelligence-based group that controls the community. We're not the freaking FBI, we're not the CIA, we're not the Bilderberg Group, we're a bunch of regular people who somehow managed to gain notoriety. It's coincidental. And it's based, and not just purely that though, it's based on our efforts, but we don't dictate everything ever in this community. You know what I mean? We're not saviors.
Well, at least some of us say that we're not. Other people who are like, oh, we're trying to help you out because you're fucking
Badass.
yeah. So
That's what pretty much every one of them are like. They're like, badass.
yeah. So
I'm so cool, XD.
I think we've reiterated this quite enough. So let's try Eddie here with our little thoughts. You want to go first?
Sure. I pretty much stated everything beforehand, but just to wrap things up, I just want to say, Metal Fantasy Writer, you're not the worst person I've ever met. And frankly, I mean, you have a good handling of spelling and grammar, which is a plus. I mean, that's just for personally my opinion anyway. But see, the thing is, don't really, make Realm the center of your universe. What'll happen is everything you'll ever say will just be affected by what Realm says, and then you'll look like a clone, and then people will criticize you for that, much like how we're doing right now, and it's not going to look good on your part.
God,
There.
the world revolving around me. It's like I don't want to be Ptolemy.
Oh my God, Ptolemy! Oh my God! His model of the universe was so complicated. He was like, oh, retrograde orbits. So the planets are circulating around the Earth. It's like, okay.
It's like could you imagine if the universe did revolve around me? Jesus Christ, how horrifying that would be.
That you would not last for 2 minutes. You'd be like, I'm done. I'm done here.
It's like I look down at everyone. It's like they're all in their closets with their pony plushes. It's like, is this really what mankind has evolved into?
Exactly. Oh God.
But yeah, my thoughts are I'm gonna copy word for word verbatim of what Hobbs just said. I'm just kidding.
Okay, Jack Cooper. God.
He would punch me in the face for that.
Yeah, I will slap you. I will go to your house and slap your face.
Alright, but it's like, honestly, I don't really have much to say except, bro, quit jerking my dick. Just quit jerking my dick. I don't need you. Don't need you manhandling that thing. All right, I'm perfectly good with doing that myself. I'm looking for a nice lady to help me with that as well. But in due time. Just it's on reserve and it's not for you.
Exactly.
All right. So Yeah, I've learned a lot of new words today. So what do you
Thanks.
say we end this off now?
All right, well, time to end this video. This has been Youngblood Fantasy 91, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all in the brighter later.
Oh, that was mature of me. Anyway, this is
Yes,
Realm Wars.
very.
This is Realm Wars the second saying cut line, end last sequence, and fade to black.